Hello and welcome. You're watching Head to Head with UATV. I am Oles Gerjuk. There is another movie on the horizon of Ukrainian cinema, The Defenders 1918. The action film, based on historic events, shows the tragic slaughter of a battalion of Ukrainian students and at the same time honors their dignity, enormous bravery and devotion to their motherland. The battle for Kruty is a key event in Ukraine's struggle against Russian aggression in the 20th century, which ultimately led to Kyiv falling to the Bolsheviks. To tell us more about the film, we're joined in the studio by Artem Koliubaiev. He is the executive producer of the Defenders 1918 movie. Hello and thank you for coming.
Hello, thank you.
Mr. Koliubaiev, first of all, could you remind our audience of the chronology of this historic event that inspired you for the creation of this movie?
Yes, of course. So after the Russian Revolution is win, they send the forces to the Kyiv to capture the Kyiv.
Bolsheviks.
Bolsheviks, yes. Meaning the Bolsheviks, they send all forces to capture the Kyiv. They start the revolution in the Arsenal's factory in Kyiv, and they need to send the support forces. And these forces were moved by train. And the station of Kruty near the village Bakhmach. So this will the station where our students are came to defend the Kyiv against the army of Muravyov, which was 5,000 Bolsheviks.
How many were the students?
There was the whole Ukrainian army, which was protect the Kruty, was 300 peoples. Some peoples and some Junkers. It was some students and some Junkers. The students, those were recruits, which was even not knowing the fight things, you know. So they don't know how to use the weapons. They have only 1 week to.
Of course, because they were teenagers.
Yes, they were teenagers. They were, like, you know. The people who was just yesterday was in the university and the next day go to fight against the Bolsheviks army. So, and this was really hard for them because they know nothing about the war. So there was the people who was 18, 16, 15, even 15. So this was a really young people.
Mm-hmm. And basically, eventually, Kyiv fell to Bolsheviks. Basically, the students didn't have a chance to defend the city.
Not really right, because the battle in Kruty was only 1 day with the students. So, and the army of Bolsheviks cannot move in this day forward to Kyiv, yes. And the main things which students are make, they stop army for 1 day. And this came possible to sign for Ukrainian government's agreement, Brest-Litovsk Lithuanian agreement, which in fact legalized the independence of Ukrainian state. So the students gave time for Ukrainian government to make political things, you know. So if Bolsheviks were not stopped, I think it was impossible to legalize Ukrainian state for this time. Mm-hmm. So the old history will be another for Ukraine and for maybe for another countries too.
Well, why would you choose exactly this topic for your movie production?
You know, the historical films always interesting to shoot because you can use a lot of things in your film. So it's meaning the period 100 years ago. It's meaning the costumes. It's meaning another epoch. You know, so another time, and you need to make a really great production to make movie real great.
Mm-hmm. And why did you select this topic, which is 100 years ago, which is basically, it's complicated?
So there was...
I mean, what inspired you? Maybe some, I don't know, maybe some nowadays events, or did you get some idea just reading through the history?
Our scriptwriter have this script 10 years ago, but Ukraine was really ready for such films 10 years ago, you know. But 2 years ago, Ministry of Culture of Ukraine initiate the creation of the film for 100th anniversary of the battle in Kruty, and our script won the tender because it was the best script in this category, and that's why our production is making this movie. And this is a really big thing for us. This is the hard task, and we make all possible to make this movie great, really.
To get a good result
because we
out
understand
of it.
We understand the all responsibility we have.
So you mentioned Ukraine Film Agency, right?
Of course, the half of budget is financed by Ukrainian state agency of the cinema.
And what amounts are we talking about?
So total budget is 52 million hryvnias, and the half of the budget is financed by the government.
By the government,
of course.
Who financed?
Another half of the budget we finance by our production, and we have partners from Italy, which will be complete the post-production period by their money. So. We have co-productions, and this is the big thing for Ukrainian film, because it's meaning that this history is interesting for the international partners,
for foreign viewers, also for their audiences, which
of course. So because you know, somebody says that it's local story because it's about the local war in Ukraine. Not sure that is the true, because it's not local story. Always young people always in ahead of the forces to fight for their freedom, to fight for their independence. That's why all countries have the same period in their history. The similar story, yes. The young people going to fight against the big army to protect their freedom and their
sovereignty,
independence. Yes.
And what's the heart of the period film?
The heart of the period film is the students. The story of the students which are going to defend their country. Yes, and we show all the students are not as soldiers. They are not soldiers, so they are just students with their dreams. Everybody wants to have a good life. They want to be a doctor. They want to be a lawyer. They want to be a cartographer, even, you know. And then they became a soldiers. So and they really make a heroic and courage things to defend the country.
Well, and now I think it's just exactly the right time to watch a part of the teaser, so our audience can better understand the idea of the movie itself.
Of course, thank you. Let's watch.
Збирайте гайдамаки, юнкерський корпус, і доведеться забрати решту юнацької школи.
Студентські корені не готові.
Важливо, щоб ти не простудився.
Що ж це коїться?
Заряджайтесь! Вогонь!
Ви всі повинні повернутися додому. Живими!
Чекайте.
So the footage is pretty impressive. Could you tell us more about the shooting itself? How did it go?
The shooting was hard. We start from October 2017 and finished just 1 week ago. We have a lot of shooting exterior, so we shoot in the fields. in the real snow with the real cold, and we have a lot of actors on the fields.
Freezing outside.
Yes, of course, it was really cold. We have a lot of weapons. All weapons are real weapon from those times. So every gun, every revolver was shooting. It's not the specifics. It's not VFX.
Wow.
So we have really weapons of this time. So
Who provided you with this ammunition?
Private collections. Yes, we collect all private collections in Ukraine to collect all weapon from those period.
Wow.
All weapon is real.
That is pretty impressive. And what about the location? How did you choose
Even
the
the
location?
Maxim automatic was real.
Was the real one?
Yes.
What about the location?
A location, it was Kiev region, it was Cherkasky region, it was in the Kiev. In the Kiev we shoot historical Universal Grushevsky, we shoot on the Sofievsky Square. So it was 2-day shootings. We closed the Sofievsky Square. We have a lot of actors there. They was all dressed like those periods, so it was hard shootings. And also a lot of scenes we shoot in the fields near the Kiev.
And about the actors, did you choose the professional actors to play the parts, or did you give the chance to the beginners to get involved into this movie industry?
We have both. We have professional Ukrainian actors and we have beginners in our film, because to play students we need a real young people, and to find young people who is really good actors, who not really good but really famous actors in Ukraine, it's impossible. So we found the young people from the theaters, from the universities of cinema, and they are really good. So every actors in our film is really good.
Well, that's great. But were there any challenges that you would face during the shooting? What was the most challenging, except of the weather?
The weather is the main challenge, because we need to find when it will snow, when it will not snow, because we have a lot of, we have a lot of weapon, horses, a lot of people, and thanks to National Guards of Ukraine, they help us a lot. So we have a lot of actors of the second plan with the Ukrainian National Guard. So Guards,
yes.
They help a lot.
Well, something more rather than that?
Something more?
I don't know, about the screenplay, about the costumes, about the equipment, decorations, maybe some trains, it was the rail station.
No,
or
we have the best
effects.
decorators in Ukraine. Vlad Dudenko, he's a really monster in this field. So he built everything like in those period, and this is really amazing. You can see it in our film.
Yes, it is visible.
And the costumes the same. So the girls which make costumes are really really amazing, because they completely make the costumes from those period.
What about the soundtracks? Because viewers do not really notice while watching, but usually in TV and movie production, the mood of the scene is very much dependent on the soundtrack.
I can't tell you now all the information, but I can tell you that we start to work with Christina Solovey, and she's making...
This is famous Ukrainian singer?
Yes, this is one of the famous Ukrainian singer, and she's really good. So she feel our movie, and you know, she have a lot of lyric song, and she makes the soundtrack for Kruty with the new song, and she makes remix of the one really well-known song in Ukraine. It will be the big surprise, and I think it will be the big shot.
Well, let's hope for that. I wish you luck in this. And when is the premiere scheduled for?
So premiere of our film will be at the big day for Ukraine. It is the 6th December in 2018. 6th December is the day of the National Forces of Ukraine. So this will be the big premiere, yes.
Okay. Well, we wish you luck in the post-production of the movie, and we wish your movie a great success on our Ukrainian cinema market and also abroad. And thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you for the invitation.
That was Artem Koliubaiev, the executive producer of the Defenders 1918 movie. Thank you so much for watching Head to Head. I'm Oles Gerjuk. Goodbye.